Shag on point, and it was a disaster. It was a disaster. I wanted to throw the thing in the garbage when I got home, and then took my friend's advice: go to the football field, just throw some weight on, or even fish during the daytime. Because I can cast a conventional grate on my boat, because I do it all the time, right? You just, you know, I can, because I've got this big radar arch, I can slide, I can go over, so I figured, oh, this is a piece of cake, I can do it. Now, add 11 foot to the equation, add 8 ounces of lead and a 2-ounce chunk of bunker or a head, and this is a whole different game. Yeah. Whole different game.
Plus, when it's new to you, you should actually practice with different weights.
Right.
Because different weights will give you different timing and.
Yeah. Absolutely, and that's why I love this reel, right? So I had an Avid reel last year. This is a new reel, and I love the Avid because I could cast it a mile, and it's a tank. I just loved it. It was a beautiful reel. Now it's a boat reel. Because one of the problems I had with it is because it didn't have any mag adjustments, it would tend to run away. I couldn't get, if I was switching weights, 4 ounces, 6 ounces, 8 ounces, bunker, clams, I was burning the skin off my thumb, doing all the control with my thumb. So with this Abu, this is the 6500 CT. It's a Switzerland-made reel. Abu's big name in surf casting reels forever. This one had instead of me magging the Avid, I said I could put that on the boat. It's a great reel. This here is a mag adjustment, so you can adjust for the different weights by, in here there's a row of magnets, there's 6 magnets that wrap around. And by adjusting this, I can actually control the backlash without tightening the spool and actually losing casting distance. So I can keep my spool loose, tighten the mag, so that as it goes, the more centrifugal force, basically what it is, that pulls off the reel, the magnets actually control the speed.
Well, I got the Penn 525 mag. Same
the
story.
525? Same story, right?
Same. It comes with an adjustable, which is great for somebody that's learning conventional.
Right.
Or for somebody who knows what they're doing and they want to play with the adjustment.
Yeah.
So
I like the
nighttime is not the time to learn how to
No, not time in shag on point, and with a northwest wind is not the time. I learned that, believe me. So what I put on here is, I've got 65-pound suffix on here. I put the suffix on because I wanted to try something a little different. I find it to be a little pricey, but I'm dying to see that presentation over there on the line strengths to see if I'm actually even buying the right line. Am I getting my money worth of, you know, tie knot strength and line strength combined? So really looking forward to see if I've got to unspool this and throw a lot of money away, or just use it, lose my first big fish, and say, damn, why didn't I throw the money away, right? But of course, some really nice fish on this year. You can cast it a mile. Again, I got 65-pound. One of the things that you really want to consider when I think it's mandatory on this type of reel, really to save your scum, is they call it. Some people call it a shock leader, but I call this a shock leader or just regular leader. But it's called a top shot as well, right? So you tie a monofilament top shot on it, and there's 2 purposes. Number 1, it's going to help your finger a little bit on that initial release of the cast. Number 2, I tend to fish this on the open beach a lot, but I'll also fish it in rocky areas. And this 50-pound will give me a little bit more durability against the rocks. So if I'm getting fish diving into the rock structure, it gives me a nice. I use about 15 feet on Top Shot. And I basically learned a lot of that just from going to Crazy Al seminars. I watched how he kind of rigged his setup, and I pretty much copied it. So I didn't create anything I didn't know. I just asked him a million questions. Why? And he gave me the answers, and I said, well, that's all logical, so I'm going to do what he does, because he's by far a greater fisherman than I'll ever be. When I'm using this predominantly for chunks and clams, and if I'm using chunks, I'm a big fan of the 10-odd Gamakatsu hook. Not only is it ultra sharp and ultra strong, it doesn't rust. It doesn't rust as easily as half the lures I buy. And so if I come home and as soon as I get out of the truck, actually, I rinse my gear off because it's too expensive not to take care of. So I rinse it off, including the hook. And with that, you know, you can see I use this. I don't know how many times I use it at the end of the season, but not even a drop of rust on it. I mean, I will sharpen this in the spring when I use it because I fished with it a couple times. But on here, I'm using 100-pound leader material. I am fishing areas that lots of large bluefish coexist. And this pole is going to catch me a 65-pound bass one day in my life, I swear. I have to catch that fish. So this is the Lamy 11-foot. I basically, this was recommended to me by a surf guide, and I forget his name, it wasn't Mark Broom. What's his name? I can't remember his name. But I ran into him at a show, and I was looking for a good blank. He actually, this is a two-piece. Now I have a house, so I don't need two pieces, and I've got rod holders on everything in my vehicle, so I don't need two pieces. So you'll see, those are all one-piece rods. This is a two-piece, and he actually recommended it, not because it's convenient, but the fact is, in this Lamy, what is it here, the XS11 MHC, it's a medium-heavy 11-foot. Even though it was rated exactly the same as the single piece rod, it was a little bit more stout. It had a little bit more strength. I mean, we just had the two of us, and he was showing me exactly, giving me your typical arch test, showing me all different techniques on it. He said, this is going to still get you, I've seen the St. Croix, which is a similar model. It's very heavy, very stout. It's almost too thick. I feel like when I was fishing with my buddies, I couldn't feel the sensation of the fish if they were, less than 15 pounds. I sometimes didn't know I had a fish on at the time. Unless I had it in free spool and I was just sitting there and I thought something was moving. This, I get really good sensitivity on. You can see the action on it. Great for catching big cows with this. Oh, no, it might be air conditioned. Yeah. So casting this. Anybody have any questions about that before I kind of just talk a little bit about casting?